much do you know about the education system in the US? If you were educated in the US, it's probably a lot, right? But if I quizzed you on current outcomes for students in the US education system, think about it. Even though you went through 12 years of education to graduate from high school, can you correctly answer a few questions on current outcomes for students in the US? Of course you could, so I'm going to throw you a curveball. In this video, I'd like to test your knowledge by asking you a few questions about how achievement outcomes compare for different populations in the US. You know, kids that are poor versus non-poor, male versus female, urban versus rural, things like that. All of the questions that I ask will be based on NAEP scores, which are the most commonly referenced measure of academic achievement among US public school students. These tests are given in a variety of subjects, including math and reading, to representative samples of 9, 13, and 17-year-old students. The four categories that test takers are placed into are 1, below basic, 2, basic, 3, proficient, and 4, advanced. Okay, let's start off with the practice question. Think of your answer, and I'll give you 10 seconds. Write down if you got the answer right or if you got it wrong. On the most recent NAEP test, across all age categories, was the percentage of students rated proficient or above in reading above or below 50%? The correct answer is below 50%. The percentage of students who perform at proficient or above range between 37 and 47% over various age categories. In addition, fewer than 9% of students placed into the advanced categories in all age groups and in both math and reading. Okay, so that was a practice problem. Now we're going to get into comparisons of subpopulations. Here are the first real questions. Number 1, when comparing men and women at age 9 and 13, is there a material difference in math scores on the NAEP exams? If so, which gender outperforms? The correct answer is no. There is no significant difference between math scores for men and women at either age. Okay, same question, but for reading. Number 2, when comparing men and women at age 9 and 13, is there a material difference in reading scores? If so, which gender outperforms? This time there is a material difference. Women outperform men by 7 points at age 9 and 9 points at age 13 on the reading NAEP exam. And for your reference, one grade level is equivalent to 10 points. Okay, time for question number 3, which will look at socioeconomic status. True or false? In the most recent NAEP exam, low-income students generally trailed their non-poor peers by 2 to 3 grade levels in both reading and math across all age categories. Okay, the answer to this question was true. In addition to lower performance, students from low-income families are also 3 times more likely to drop out from school than middle-income students. Okay, let's get into our last topic. We're going to get into race differences. So question number 4 is a true or false question. On the 2011 NAEP math exam, over 80% of Black and Hispanic 13-year-olds placed into the basic or below basic category. The answer to this question is true. The number was 87% for Black students and 80% for Hispanic students. On the same test, the related result for white students was 56%. This is what is commonly referred to as the achievement gap, which leads us to question number 5. Over the past 30 years, has the achievement gap gotten bigger, smaller, or remained unchanged? Okay, the correct answer is that the achievement gap has persisted relatively unchanged over the last 30 years. Okay, that's the end of the quiz. Hopefully you've learned a few things about differences in educational outcomes in the U.S. public school system. The achievement gap that we touched on at the end is a very important topic in the education space because it shows that certain populations are not being served effectively in the current education system. I hope this video has opened your eyes to some of the disparities within this system and sparked your interest in learning more about the potential root causes and solutions for the achievement gap.